So hey everybody, I thought I would just do this video partly to help myself feel better. Um, I just woke up with a lot of anxiety, and I think it stems from the car and yesterday. I've spoken of this before, but I tend to react physically, mentally, however you want to put it, either a day later, a couple days later, when I guess reality sets in. You have a spare on your spare tire on your car. You need to get it fixed. You need to get it fixed. Even though yesterday I said, I'm not going to stress myself out and race around to Costco or race around to places when it's perfectly fine, and I have to keep telling myself that. But I know where this anxiety is coming from, so I thought I would just try to be proactive and do something positive and get my mind off of it for a few minutes. I'm trying to watch Hawaii Five-0 from last night on my DVR. It's not quite working. Having my coffee. I'm just trying just to calm down. And then I'm also thinking about my surgery. What a stupid thing to do is cancel it, because I'm really having a bad nose day. And I woke up and I couldn't breathe. Not literally, well, almost literally. This is somewhat plugged up. But I know it's the right decision. I just have to remember it's the right decision. And my face is just all... I'm just very itchy. I'm very irritated. I'm very just jumpy. And I hate this. And this is decaf. This is not... I don't do caffeine. I haven't done caffeine for very, very, very long time. I just can't stop this anxiety. So what I thought I would do is write some things down about me that you might or might not know. The things I absolutely love in life, have loved, continue to love, have lost love for, just things, and we'll get on with the list. So I wrote down a list. Like I said, maybe, some of this is redundant. Maybe this is just repeating myself. I am so not comfortable. I'm doing this on my tablet just to give my phone a rest. And I'm trying desperately, not to take a Valium, but I think I'm headed there if I don't calm down. I know, just breathe, but it's hard. It's hard. So, certain things, certain people, certain things. I love Lucy. I love Lucille Ball. I've loved her since I found out who she was. Obviously, I'm not old enough to have watched I Love Lucy live. I barely remember the Lucy show. I think that came out in 1962. So, I think I was watching reruns, but I'm not sure. I do remember the first time I saw the first episode of the Lucy show. It was about a horse, and she had got on a horse, and she said, I think probably to Vivian Vance, like, oh, this horse is pregnant. I didn't know what the word pregnant meant, so my mom had to explain it to me. And I can still remember that day. I can still remember the TV, because it was a black and white console that, by the way, I just got rid of 9 months ago. You do the math. And I guess I had always liked her, but then I started watching I Love Lucy reruns, and to this day I still love her so, so much. So much, in fact, that I've been to her grave, that is no longer there, at Forest Lawn in Hollywood. The family moved her ashes. See, I'm sorry. I'm just itchy, scratchy, a hot mess. So she died April 26, 1989, and she was 77 years old. And I visited her grave, I think once in the late 90s, and then once probably in the early 2000s, or both of them are the, early 90s. I don't remember. I've been to her old house that is no longer there because they bulldozed it and they rebuilt it. But I just love her so much. The one thing I will not watch, the one thing I dislike, and I barely got through it, was Mame, the remake of Mame. I don't like that movie. I will not watch that with her, but I will watch basically anything else. I don't know. I just love her so much. Hallmark has her on, between 2 and 5 every night. Generally, I DVR it. My favorite episodes are, of course, the Hollywood episodes. They're just my favorite. So that's just one thing of me. Another person that I absolutely love is George Strait. My mom introduced me to him. I always liked country music, but I don't know. I think it was an award show, and she's like, look at this guy. He's really cute. Whatever. And then I started to look and listen, and that's it. Fell deeply, madly in love with him to this day. I've seen him a number of times in concerts. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. A blow and a puff. Yeah, we're back on this stuff again. There was a place down here back in the 70s. You can Google it. I don't live in that city, so go ahead and Google it if you want. It was called the Circle Star. And it was a small venue with a stage in the center, and the stage would rotate. It was the coolest thing ever. Like, he played there, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis, bands. I mean, like, it was the best place ever. So they had a certain way that the stars would come down out of a certain dressing room with a star. So we always sat in that area, and I'll never forget, he was coming down the ramp, if you will, onto the stage. My mom literally, I don't want to say this, gently pushed me into him. And I'm like, oh my God. My mom was like that. Go touch him. Go touch him. I touched him, so I can say I officially touched George Strait. But he is country to me. He is old school. I love old school country. I love Dolly Parton. I love Reba McEntire. Alan Jackson. I like the old. I like the new as well. I mean, I love Miranda Lambert, and I used to like the band Perry until they flipped and went punk or rock or whatever the hell they are now. But not so much anybody else that really, really comes to mind. I know I'm probably gonna leave somebody out, but yeah. So I love George Strait. I adore and love Jimmy Buffett. I've been to a number of his concerts, and it's just a big ass party. It's, even if you don't know all the songs, and I didn't the first time, it made me want to go out and buy his CDs and learn them. Now I know them all. If you want to have a good time, go to a Jimmy Buffett concert, especially an outside Jimmy Buffett concert. It's just, margaritas are flowing, and you have a great time, and it's just amazing. So I love Jimmy. Now we're sort of going to get into places. My first and foremost, and nobody's going to be shocked at this, is of course Hawaii. Although, and I'm not going to get into, and I could if I wanted to, because my parents are gone and it involves my parents. But let's just say when I was 6 years old, we went, and it wasn't a happy trip. It was quite traumatic. It changed the course of all of our lives. And you would think I would hate it. You would think I would never want to go back or never wanted to go back, but I still love it. I love the Big Island. I've been to every island. But Maui holds a special place in my heart. I went there once with my parents for the day, of all things. We flew over there for the day. We had lunch. I barely remember it. I was miserable. We were all miserable. We were there at Christmas time. My dad, for some reason, decided we were going to go for Christmas. And we all didn't want to be there. It was all a mistake. We even came back early. We were supposed to stay there through Christmas. We ended up coming home before Christmas to come home to be at Christmas at home time. So I discovered Maui in 1994 with my best friend at the time. And again, it was just magical. I can't explain it. It's like every time I go there and leave, a part of me is still there. It's still there. And I never get that part of me back until I'm back there. And there's this one place up, it's called Kipahula Falls. And it's where Charles Lindbergh is buried. You might want to Google it just to see some pictures. It is the most beautiful, serene place in the entire world. Like if somebody said, where is the most peaceful place in the world to you? And I've been to a lot of places. But to me, standing at the top of that hill, that mountain, it's on the road to Hana. You don't hear anything. You may hear crashing waves. You hear the palm trees. A cute little church is up there. And it's just one certain spot I always go to. And if I think about it, I will I will put a picture of myself at that specific location at the end of this video, God willing, because I'm doing it on my tablet. I don't know if I have Movie Maker on here or not. I know I have it on my phone. It's easy to do on my phone, but I don't know if I have it on my tablet. But if I do, I will. It is just breathtakingly beautiful. The ocean is crystal blue. And I will go back one day. Just now is not the right time. It's too far. I haven't been on an airplane that long in 11 years. And, I'd rather be here where the girls need me and I need to be. But if I could go tomorrow and be there in an hour, I probably would. So we're on the subject of Hawaii and stuff. Another thing and person I love who is Hawaii based is Dog the Bounty Hunter. And this is something that I've done for years now. I always DVR him in the morning. A&E still runs his reruns. I always have to watch Dog the Bounty Hunter in the morning or sometime throughout the day. Even though they're all on demand, even though I have DVDs, I still have to get my fix. And I think it was 2012 or 2013, he and Beth, his wife, came down here to San Jose. I mean, here in California, I don't live in San Jose. To a church. And he spoke for a couple hours, and I met him. I have a picture with him. Granted, not the best picture of myself. And he was actually very sick the day before in the hospital in LA. And they advised him not to fly down here. But he did. So he was I don't want to say rude, but just like over the whole fan thing. Like we had to hunt him down outside, and he didn't do a meet and greet, which he was going to, but because he was sick, he was like, So I literally 5 minutes before we left the parking lot, tracked him down, got a picture, and just ran to the car. So I love him. I love the show. I just love that family. Another thing I love, of course, is my love for Shih Tzus. Hence, my friend actually, an ex-friend off of Facebook, bought me this. Actually had it made. And it says, all my children have paws. That is the only breed I've ever owned. Knowing me, this is the only breed I will ever own. And I don't like to say own. That's the wrong word. Have is a better word. They're just the most incredible, smart, beautiful little souls ever. My first Shih Tzu I got when I was 11 years old. We had just moved into Rivera. And I think I had mentioned this before too. I was given the opportunity or the choice, and I knew this is not going to happen. I mean, not in my world, to get a Shih Tzu puppy or a puppy, or a yellow banana skateboard. And the skateboard was at Long's Drugs. I'll never forget. And it was plastic. And, my mom was like, well, you can get the skateboard, but you can't get the puppy. And I'm like, knowing very well, I was probably going to get both. I got both. And I'm not boasting and I'm not bragging. That's just how things were. And you don't understand a lot of my life and what transpired and being an only child. And a lot of shit went down, so I think a lot of my life was keep her happy, get her what she wants. And what I wanted was not a lot of material things, but a lot of other stuff. But, things work out the way they work out. And at the time, a local mall, back in the day when there was pet stores, and I don't know if they were legit or, puppy mills or whatever, wherever he came from. So I saw this beautiful little doggy. I didn't even know if I wanted a boy or girl. I just wanted a puppy. I never owned a puppy in my life. We came from a duplex. So I was not allowed to have a dog. I was barely allowed to have a cat. And they didn't find out about the cat until 7 years later. And then it was like, okay, well, you have her anyway. But I was told no dogs. So he was the cutest little thing. And I named him Benji after the movie Benji. So Benji was around 1975, 1974, the movie. And he was just so cute. But when you're 11 years old, you just don't appreciate or realize they're not going to live forever. They're dispensable. I rarely took him for walks. He ate crap like hot dogs and spaghetti, and I don't think that dog ate a kibble in his life. Or a can of food of anything. He just ate what we ate. And I remember, God help me, feeding him C's candy. Chocolates. I remember my dad doing it too. Not knowing it was toxic to dogs. He was never sick. Never got sick. But he lived till he was almost 16 years old. Charlie, I swear to God, leave her alone or there's going to be war. Thanks. And when he passed away, I really think I had a breakdown. It was the first loss I ever experienced. I had to take a week off of work. I was a mess for months after. I went into a tailspin that I couldn't sleep in my room because that's where we slept. I had to sleep in the guest room. I remember literally coming home from work after going back to work and just not having dinner and going to bed and starting the whole thing over and over again. And then I found a little tiny ad in our local newspaper. Somebody in Millbrae, the next town over, had puppies for sale for $225. And I called the guy, and it was 4th of July weekend, but the day I adopted Chelsea was July 6th. I was 26 on the 6th. And I didn't realize my thing of sixes back then, but it goes back a very, very long way. My number 6 thing. So she almost lived till 18 years old. So when she was 17, I found my beautiful Kamiley, knowing Chelsea probably wasn't going to be with us much longer. She had doggy dementia. She had a lot of problems. We were seeing specialists. We were doing a lot of things. But she got sick. And I don't even, your mind just blocks things out. I don't know how I knew to take her to emergency. Something was really, really wrong. And, I said to the doctor, because I wasn't there when Benji died, it was kind of the whole scenario again of Benji dying at the emergency. And I didn't get to say goodbye to him. Really, really goodbye. At least I was with Chelsea. I told the doctor, I said, if anything happens, if you think anything's going to happen, please call me. I need to be with her. And he did. And, on a Monday, and it was September 16th, 2008, she passed away. But I was with her, and I got to come home to Kamiley. And while it was horrific, it was okay. She had lived a long life, and I had a beautiful little girl to come home to. But I still miss her. I still miss her. Like, all my pictures of my parents are holding her. There's one I have in the refrigerator. There's one I have up here. I loved her so much. And I don't mean to get, all emotional and stuff, but it's just a different life, back then. So, and then and then Kamiley came along, completely changed my whole world. You learn as you go. Every pet you get, you realize, again, that not that you're on borrowed time, but they're not kids. They're not gonna outlive you. And your appreciation just grows, and your love grows immensely. And that's why I love her so much, because She is the last connection I have to Chelsea. She's the last connection I have to my mom and my dad. Yes, Casey, did know my mom and my dad barely 6 months. She was a baby. She was a baby when I got her. So that's why Kamiley and I have this connection, because we were alone for like 6 months before I adopted Casey, which was Kamiley's first birthday present, a sister, because I didn't want her growing up alone. But in those 6 months, we just became so close. I took her everywhere. We were never apart. So that's why, people can't understand, even, my Shih Tzu group, or people on Facebook, or people, she's your favorite. It's like, she's not my favorite. It's just different. It's a different connection I have with every one of them. But with her, it's just, like yesterday, taking her to the vet, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, thinking something was incredibly wrong, and how could I fix it? I don't care what it cost. Fix it. Make her well. I don't care what you need to do. Just fix her. So, it's just different. Sorry, it was a long rant about a Shih Tzu, but they're just an amazingly smart breed that they're almost human. I mean, you tell them one thing and they remember. She remembers everything. That's why I have to be very careful what I say. They're going to be very bummed and disappointed, but no CARRIDES for a while, because I don't feel comfortable putting them in there with the spare, should the spare, something go wrong, and I have 3 dogs in the CAR, and I'm not doing that. So anyways, speaking of cars, the one and only make and model, whatever you want to call it, I've ever owned is a Ford. I'm a Ford girl. I like what I like. I'm really not into reviews or, how do I want to say? I guess reviews is the right word. I don't really research. If I like a Ford Escape or a Ford Edge or a Ford whatever, it's because I like the way it looks. It's not because it's good for the environment. Sorry. I wouldn't really ever consider, this is just me, getting an electric car or a hybrid. I just don't get it. I just want to put gas in the car and go. I don't know. That's just me. So I love Fords. I always have. Now we're taking a spin to, I guess, food. I love Chinese and I love Italian. Those are my favorites. There's nothing that beats a good McDonald's hamburger. It sucks when you're overweight, as I have been my entire life. I'd say probably until I was probably 6 or 7. And I'm sure it's genetics, a part of this, on my dad's side. Because my mom's side isn't, and she certainly wasn't. But, like I said, a lot of stuff went down in my childhood, and I think my mom, God bless her soul, used to feed me just to make me happy. Or just let me eat whatever I wanted, how much I wanted, ice cream, chips, all the bad crap. And I still, to this day, use food as a stress reliever, as a comfort, as something you just run to. And I know that's wrong, and I'm trying not to do that. Or if I do that, like to eat an orange or to eat an apple or to drink a protein drink, or to just sit here for a couple minutes and go, do you really want that? I'm better. I'm much better than I used to be, but I think that's where my love of food just stems from, is childhood, is, you know, having a bowl of ice cream. Always, always, always having dessert. And I can't remember a time when there wasn't dessert in the house. A pie, cakes, cookies, Dreyer's ice cream. I can't remember. Like, it was just the normal. You have dinner, you have dessert. And I still have that in my mind. Like, I can't just have dinner. I have to have dessert. So, it's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy world of mine. Another thing I love, no lie, are nails. These are super pretty. Ooh, they actually came out. They are Color Club holographic. I can't remember what the name is called. But, y'all, I was doing nails long before nails were even like a thing. I was doing gradients. I was working with Scotch tape. I was doing like dark to light pink. I mean, we're talking 25 so years ago. I would make all these cool designs. You know, there were no stamping plates. There were no stamping polishes. There were no such words as gradients. There was just nail polishes. And what you did, you used tape. I used just plain old Scotch tape to make, you know, either vertical or horizontal lines or different designs. You know, there was no striping tape. There was nothing. There was just scissors, tape, and nail polish. So I've been doing, you know, nails for a long time. As you all know, these are not mine. These are glue-on. I actually took them off a few days ago. I do have nails underneath. They are there. If I worked on them a little bit more, if I took care of them and really used some nail hardeners and took these babies off and keep them off, I could have some pretty nice nails. But these are just easier for my life. They're just, you know, I don't have to, I can ding them wherever I, you know, knock them around, and I don't have to worry I'm going to break anything. So I just choose to do this way. That was Lexi. That was not a fart. This is already 32 minutes. And I got to watch the time. I have to go to Smart and Final to get litter. That's my only trip of the day. And if they don't have it, then I have to go next door to Pet Club and pay out the ass. But I'm out of cat litter. What else do I love? Obviously, I love tattoos. My last one, of course. I had a few new subscribers. Not like I can do this. This is impossible. So we're just gonna kind of. That's my last one. I just got in October, and it's Kamiley's name and her actual paw print. So yeah, it means a lot. I'm gonna get Lexi's and Casey's sometime. I don't know when. They need to have their paws shaved so I can get a clean impression. That's what's stopping me, not anything else. I have this tattoo. I have one back here. I don't know how this is going to all come out. If you can see it or not. Not sure. No, it's further down. Anyway, I got that one in Maui. I got one in my ankle on Maui. And then I got one on my ankle in Los Angeles. The first one I got is in Maui. I was in 2004. Hurt like a bastard. And I just realized the other day, it's very pretty. Actually, you know what? Hopefully if I don't drop you, I will show it to you. Excuse the old, take everything off. So, that's what it looks like. And the yellow part I noticed is, sorry, I'll bring you back up here, is fading. Well, I mean, rightfully so, 14 years later. But it's like really, really, really fading. So I was contemplating going to my local tattoo artist and see if he could, fill it in or bring it back to life sometime in the next 6 months to a year. But it's like, wow, I didn't realize, they should sort of last forever. So I guess he didn't saturate enough, or I don't know, whatever. But I always promised myself that my first tattoo would be in Maui, and it was in Maui, and my other two as well. Just this one and this one. And then I have a large back piece, that I got in Santa Clara in 2007. I mean, it's huge. Of Chelsea, Mika, and Gypsy. So, I have like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I just love them. I had piercings. I had a piercing up here, and I had a piercing up here, which I did myself. I just had this closed up, and this one became sort of infected, a keloid, like ball in the back, and I just took it out. So, I think I'm going to do a part 2 because I have a long list. So, I don't want to blow this tablet up, and I don't want to take too much more of your time. So, I hope you found this enjoyable, and just getting to know me a little bit more, me opening up a little bit more. And you know what, guys? I feel better. I actually feel calmer. So thank you for this. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for your support and your love and, everything else that goes along with it. But let me just tell you how better I feel. I feel 1,000% better. So, I've got to start my day. These 3 bitches went back to sleep. I don't know why, but I guess it's one of those mornings. And I got to start my day because I got to start trimming people up, bathing, and running a couple errands. And before I know it, it'll be 4 or 5 o'clock, and then we're just going to shut it down. So take care, everybody. Have a safe and blessed Saturday. And thank you all so much for your prayers about the car, about Kamiley. And have a great one. Bye.